So hey there everyone, it's Shadow's Home and I'm joined today by a special guest. Hey, hi.
How's it going?
Yep, got Raven, who's actually been subbed to the channel for quite some time, and he actually casted the tournament with me that I put up on the channel, relatively recently for Infinity Gaming. So we're gonna go ahead and cast this game. We managed to get in like minute 1 of this game. So yeah, as you guys can see right now, we've got Vayne, Ahri, Liss, Jayce, Lulu versus Voli, Nasus, Cait, Sona, and Lissandra. I'm gonna go ahead and say this right now, that Vayne and Lulu combo is very, very deadly.
Yeah, definitely. Once they hit level 6, they'll be a lot stronger. But pre-level 6, Sona and Caitlyn, they're going to be able to poke them down so hard. It's going to be pretty interesting to see what they'll be able to pull off pre-6.
Yeah, once level 6 happens, Vayne gets her ultimate, same thing with Lulu, and same thing with Sona and Caitlyn. But I got a feeling if Lulu goes ahead and puts her ult on Vayne, when Vayne goes and tumbles in while invis, knocks everybody up, like if Vayne's in the middle of both of them, that's very, very potent.
Oh yeah, I'd have to agree with you. I think that the blue teams with the Vayne and Lulu combo at level 6, I think they'd be much stronger than the Sona Caitlyn. Although Sona's ult is amazing, the Caitlyn ult is not so good for during team fights, but is very strong to end it.
Yes, it is. And I can't stress this enough, guys. Riot did implement something new since the tournament that we casted, where if you hit A as a spectator, you actually see a nice little UI that pops up, which you guys are currently actually seeing. Allows you to see the champions, overall how the team fight would be going, the spells that are available to them, whether it be their ultimate, flash, flash barrier, flash ignite, stuff like that, and it's overall more streamlined and just better for us, the spectators, but until we get to those team fights, we don't really need it.
Well, I'm glad you read patch notes, because I sure don't.
I do patch notes on my channel.
Yeah, I gotta start watching those.
I cover everything, well, most everything that's in the patch notes, I cover them, and give you guys my thoughts on why they're good, why they're not. But we've got a Jayce top versus Nasus. We have Lissandra middle versus Ahri. A Liss jungle versus a Voli jungle. And then for bottom, it's Lulu, Vayne versus Caitlyn and Sona.
So, I'm thinking that this top lane matchup is going to be pretty strongly favored into this Jayce's favor. Him being ranged and all, and Nasus being working early game, I think it's going to be pretty good for him.
I'm going to have to agree with you on that one. The fact that Nasus has to farm up his Q in order for him to really be a big threat, other than just, hey, being a meat shield, there's going to be a point where he has to get that farm, and Jayce probably won't allow him to, as we actually see Jayce is preventing him from even getting anywhere close to his creeps. So, yeah, that's going to tell the tale of this game really, really quick.
Definitely. And then if we go down to mid lane, I think this is actually definitely gonna be the lane that we want to watch out for, because at level 6, I think that Lissandra's ult actually counters Ahri's, and I think that it's gonna be able to allow her to make a lot of plays.
That's correct, and actually, if you look at Lissandra's ult, if she casts it on herself, she's entombed for 2.5 seconds rather than 1. But the nice first blood right here, Lulu actually picks up instead of this Vayne, and looks like right now this Sona's about to die here, and Sona actually picks up the kill on Vayne, and Lulu gets the kill on Sona.
Lulu picking up the double kill, scumbag Lulu. Always stealing the kills from the ADCs.
Yeah, and in the meantime, this Jayce is going hard up on this Nasus up at top, and Liss comes in here to try and get the kill, but Liss scared away by that turret. And he's actually going to go ahead and camp up here.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to be able to go in to dive for it, but I don't know, Jayce being really low, that Leeson's definitely got to take the first tower shot if they want to be able to steal it, if they want to be able to get it. Yeah,
and in the meantime, we actually see right here that Leeson does get the kill after Jayce did go ahead and put the ignite on. I believe it was a nicely timed slow that got him.
Yeah, definitely. Leeson was able to W in and get the slow off on him, and Jayce was able to do a little bit of damage, but it was the red buff that ended up killing him, I believe.
I knew there was an ignite tossed up, but I didn't know if the red buff actually sealed the deal, or if it was, straight auto attack.
I am pretty sure it was the red buff.
Alright, so yeah, game's getting underway very, very quickly. But
Yeah, definitely. Another thing.
Go ahead.
Another thing I noticed is that Leeson actually burned his flash there, and that's gonna be able to weaken himself later for his other potential ganks.
Very true, and Volibear comes in here. Yeah, Volibear comes in here mid, and Ahri's trying to run away here, and she flashes over the wall to get away, and Volibear flashes right behind her, and nice taunt right there by Ahri, allowing that tower to do a couple of hits to Volibear, and Volibear's passive finally goes off.
That was definitely a beautiful taunt right there. He was able to not only blow Volibear's passive, but Volibear's passive later, that's going to basically weaken all of his abilities as a tower dive.
Very true, but I want to finish a quick thought that I had a little while ago with Lissandra's ult. If she casts on herself, it lasts 2.5 seconds versus 1.5 seconds. She puts on an enemy, but in the meantime, Vayne did go ahead and get the kill on Sona.
Yeah, that was actually a really good play by Leeson. He was able to come in and slow the Sona down, and instead of just finishing it off being a scumbag, he gave it advantage.
Which Vayne definitely needs that farm, the kills right now, because her and Caitlyn are pretty much tied on CS, but Vayne does have the 2 assists above Caitlyn's 1. And Volibear comes in here, and he's getting slowed right there by Leeson. He actually gets caught by a trap too by that. Actually, no, I'm sorry, it was Leeson that got caught by the trap by Caitlyn. And now Leeson's going ahead and backing away here.
Yeah, Lissandra's actually coming down for the roam as well.
Yeah, she's coming down from middle, and she did go ahead and pop her glacial path, but Leeson was far enough away to where it didn't really matter at that point in time.
Yeah, even though Leeson doesn't have his boots right now, he's just so mobile, and that's one of the things that makes him such a powerful champion. It's really good to see him trying to be so active with his early game ganks.
Yeah, and want to put you guys in the direction of top right now, or bottom rather, but top real quick. There's a 4 CS difference between Jayce and Nasus. Jayce is already winning the gold battle right there by about 200, close to 300 right now. So very good play right there. That the early gank from Leeson did help, and it's helping in a big way right now. Meantime, this Caitlyn's about to die here, and she might die to Vayne. And no, she survives just barely though. She does have to pop her barrier, and Lulu gets the kill on Caitlyn yet again. Vayne goes in here, tries to get the kill on Sona, but Sona's underneath the tower.
I think that was a questionable decision by Vayne. She actually blew her flash to get an auto attack off on Sona, and I don't see a reason to do it. I think she thought that Lulu was gonna die, but in reality, there was no chance of her dying right there.
Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things where you have to kind of, judge it for yourself. In the meantime, top right now, Leeson's trying to help push that top tower, but Lissandra does come down here bottom, and she actually ults herself, and beautiful ult right there. She actually almost gets the kill on Lulu, and looks like this Vayne actually dies to Volibear, and Lulu gets the kill on Lissandra, and Ahri gets the kill onto Sona during all this. And Volibear versus both Ahri and Lulu. Granted, Ahri is pretty much Loom at this point, and Lulu's almost dead. Volibear does have the advantage if he doesn't get taunted, and Lulu actually is going to go ahead and die right there to a bite. No, she will survive just barely and gets killed by that Caitlyn Q.
Yeah, that was beautiful right there. The Volibear didn't actually decide to go in until the Caitlyn was within range. That was like a lot of players will just go ahead and be Rambo, and they'll just run in right away. But he was patient enough to wait for his Caitlyn to be in range before he actually went in.
Yeah, that was beautiful, and I think Caitlyn has her net. She actually does. She probably 90 caliber netted closer so that she can go ahead and get that Q off just in time.
Yeah, definitely. And it looks like Volibear's just gonna hand over the blue to Lissandra right now.
Very standard. Lissandra is one of the mid champions that has a very tough mana problem, early to mid game.
There was just something that this Jayce did a little bit ago that I'd like to point out. It doesn't show so much now, but it did happen earlier. Instead of going for tier first, he actually decided to get longsword before finishing his tier, and that's just to give his auto attacks more damage, just so he can bully that Nasus. It's a really powerful thing for him.
Definitely, and people also have to remember that tier. Actually, speaking of Jayce right now, Jayce is going right onto that Nasus. Meantime, Caitlyn gets the kill on Vayne, and yeah, Jayce is trying to do work now onto this Nasus and almost misses his Q on that Nasus through the acceleration gate.
You know, bot lane's really sketchy right now, because while Caitlyn has a kill advantage on Vayne, and she has like what, 7 more CS? Vayne has 3 assists on her and a kill, so I guess like, oh no, Vayne just scales so much quicker than Caitlyn. Go ahead, top.
And in the meantime, yeah, we got Jayce going ahead and dying right here to Voli and Nasus. He actually dies to Nasus. I believe it was the ult from Nasus that actually managed to finally kill him off. It was the, health reduction per second that got him. Good play right there by Volibear with the, flash in, I believe it was. No, he actually didn't even flash, he just kind of charged in and, allowed Nasus to get the wither off. Meantime, Ahri goes in right there onto Lissandra, and Lissandra gets the beautiful ult right there onto Ahri. And, wow, that Liss comes in just in the nick of time to save Ahri. But Liss himself is actually going to die here if he's not careful. He goes in, he dies to Volibear, and gives Volibear just another kill.
Oh, that was definitely a mistake coming out of that Liss right there.
Yeah, and Ahri gets knocked back, and Volibear gets another kill on him with that, I believe it's his frenzy, yeah. And now Volibear is laughing all the way back to the base.
Oh man, Volibear is one of my favorite champions, just due to the fact of how strong he is and how much damage he can do while just building pure tank.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, he needs to be tweaked a little more. I'm not saying nerf him, but just, do the same thing that Riot did to Wukong, where you can't just be a complete tanky, powerhouse without building tank items. Or you can't be a complete damage monster without building damage items. You have to pick and choose.
I definitely think that's completely right. I think they would need to burst. I think they would need to nerf his base health. I think it's a little bit too high than what it should be right now.
That may be the case. You never know. But in the meantime, this Nasus and Jayce going at it yet again. The wither comes out by Nasus right there, and Jayce actually moves out of the spirit just in time, but Nasus goes in and gets the kill with his Q. And Ahri in the meantime, and Lissandra, exchanging blows here, and Lissandra gets the kill, and just barely at that. Lissandra survives with about 70 health.
Yeah, in mid lane, Ahri tried to dive the Lissandra, and it just did not go well. He actually missed her charm, I believe, and that was what ended up costing it for her.
In the meantime, Liss here in middle trying to, get the kill on Lissandra, but it's not going to be worth it. He's going to go ahead and back out here because Volibear is still there. But Caitlyn and Vayne right now, Caitlyn's pulling ahead in CS, which, it's to be expected because she does have a longer poke range, but Vayne should start getting the kills relatively soon here, just because of how much, harassment Vayne has at her, at her disposal, as well as just her killing potential versus Caitlyn.
Yeah, another thing to point out in between the 280 carries is Caitlyn has a BF sword while Vayne went for the Berserker Greaves. And I'm not completely sure that was the proper decision coming from the Vayne.
I think Vayne more so just wants the movement speed than the attack speed at this point. She knows she has to get in, up close and personal. Nice ult right there by that Lulu. However, it's not going to be enough. We do have a 4v2 bottom right now, and Nasus teleports in. It looks like they're going to just go ahead, pressure this tower, maybe even get it. Liss is middle now, or bottom, but I don't think he's going to be able to help in this 3v2 or 3v4 situation. We do see him go ahead and get a slow up, but it looks like he dies right there to Nasus. Volibear goes ahead and just chases that Lulu and Vayne away, and there's nothing Vayne or Lulu can do right now to go ahead and stop this Nasus or Volibear. They're actually to their tier 2 tower, and Ahri in the meantime gets the kill on Sona. She did go ahead and come down bottom. And Vayne's trying to go ahead and get the kill on somebody right here. Ahri gets the kill onto Nasus, and it's just that Volibear that's trying to go ahead and survive right here.
I was actually surprised that Nasus ended up falling down in the end. He's just such a tanky beast right now, but the main thing is he has no armor, and that was able to destroy him, along with the true damage that she has coming from her W.
Yeah, that people always underestimate the true damage that Vayne does. But it's 2% of your... Or I'm sorry, 5% of the maximum health of your opponent that you got that third bolt off on. Now, 5% is a lot when you take into consideration that Volibear has close to 2,000 health, Nasus has close to 2,000 health as well, and there's no way to avoid the true damage coming out from Vayne. The only thing you can do is try and get, a lot of armor to negate just her regular auto attacks and her condemn.
another thing about the fight is just, like, actually Caitlyn's going to take down this sorry.
Vayne is going to take down this Caitlyn, yeah.
Yeah, it turns out Caitlyn's can't kill themselves. Whoops.
Actually, Caitlyn's can kill themselves if it's a mirror matchup.
Not
Or they're attacking the tank with Thornmail and they kill themselves on the Thornmail. True fact right there.
No, just talking about two Caitlyn's. That's not cute, bro.
But in ranked, it's more likely that you'll die to Thornmail as Caitlyn than, getting killed by another Caitlyn. But in the meantime, this Lissandra ults on herself right here in the middle, and Jayce goes ahead and eats up the entire damage of it, but he doesn't really care. Nice kill right there by Jayce. The Ignite finally finishes her off, while Ahri goes ahead and pops her ult to actually get in. In the meantime, Vayne and Lulu going ahead and pressuring this T1 tower down here bottom to make up for their loss of their T1 tower. They'll most likely get it, if not just very, very weaken it to a very harsh extent, which is actually close to 800 health right now. And Jayce and Ahri can go ahead and try and jump onto this Volibear, and Volibear's passive will go ahead and go off, and that'll save him for quite some time. Jayce and Ahri gonna go ahead and try and take that middle tower out. At the same time, this bottle tower is gonna be tried to take it by his teammates.
Yeah, and at the same time, Nasus is going for top tower, and Liss is soloing Dragon by himself. With the mid lane and the bot lane being pushed that hard, Liss was able to take that out for free.
Yeah, which will help push the gold advantage back into the blue team's favor for now. They're just about even on gold actual kills, and actually Ahri gets the kill onto Volibear here in the middle, and Lissandra gets the kill on Jayce, but Jayce gets the kill on Lissandra. Wow. In the meantime, Nasus did go and get that T1 tower, and Vayne now trying to get the kill on somebody down here at bottom with the help of Liss and Lulu, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen.
Yeah, that was actually a pretty interesting fight in mid lane. That just goes to show how strong positioning can be. The blue team, Ahri and Jayce were much weaker than Volibear and Lissandra were in the fight, but due to the fact that Volibear and Lissandra lined up, Ahri was able to just land her Q on both of them, and it did so much damage as well with the Jayce Q.
Yeah, that's always the thing you have to remember, is if you're going up against somebody that's got a skill shot that passes through you, don't stand in line from front to back, stand in line left to right, and force them to go into a bad position. But in the meantime, it looks like this Ahri, speaking of her, she's going ahead and ulting away here from Volibear, Volibear, Sona, and Nasus. And very smart move by her. She was trying to steal their blue, but it wasn't going to work out in her favor.
Yeah, Ahri just trying to be a little greedy and steal the blue, ended up having to blow her ult there. So I guess that was actually a bad position. Probably should have just walked out in the beginning after the fight.
Yeah, and one thing I want to touch on that I kind of touched on a little while ago is the Tear of the Goddess on this Jayce. You have to remember that now Jayce can't just spam his ultimate to get stacks of tier. You actually have to cast something that has a mana cost to go ahead and get your tier to stack up. The only champion that can actually get it to work without without spending mana is Lucian right now. When he gets his dash all the way maxed up, it costs 0 mana, but it starts off with like a 70 mana cost. That's the only ability in the game right now that actually allows you to get tier off without having any mana to waste. But in the meantime, this Caitlyn goes in and gets away right there by from that Vayne and Lulu. And Nasus had to port in, and Volibear is actually down here as well. Nasus gets the beautiful wither off, and that Lulu's in dire trouble right here. She will ult on herself, but she will die regardless to that Nasus. And looks like right now, just an entire team fight going on down here. I'm gonna go ahead and change the UI real quick. And it looks like right now that Caitlyn's near death, and Sona dies right here. Looks like Lissandra's getting close to death as well. And Leeson's dead to Nasus. Lissandra actually pops her ult and pops it on, looks like Ahri. Ahri gets killed right there by the ult from Lissandra, and it looks like that, I believe it was, I actually can't even tell who got that last kill.
I'm actually not 100% sure. But anyways, that fight was basically thrown due to the fact that Leeson went in. Like, he decided to go in on the Caitlyn after he landed a Q. It was just due to the fact that he had Wither on him, even though he could easily got away with his W. He could have just gone in W to the Vayne. But he decided to go back in, and that cost him 3 deaths for 1. And not only that, it also cost him a tower. It was definitely a misplay by that Leeson right there.
Yeah, and one thing I want to note, guys, yeah, this UI that I'm actually showing you guys it should, in theory, help us, but I actually just have to get used to it. It doesn't show us their health values, it doesn't show us anything else. I might be sticking with the normal UI that we've been, dealt with for quite some time, just because it's easier and, you can actually see the health values of everybody, because again, right now you can't see anybody's health values. I can click on people, but we just can't see their health values, and I would at least like the health bars to come back, on the screen while we're casting. That's one thing I want to say about this UI, and I hope Riot listens.
Yeah, I really don't like how they did the health bars for in the noob thing, where it just holds it into like a global amount of health for the team.
Yeah, in the meantime, it looks like this Ahri's gonna go ahead and die here. She dies to Caitlyn, and Caitlyn will, Caitlyn's actually ahead of Vayne right now on the CS department as well as the kills. They're tied on assists, but Vayne has one more death, and Dragon actually is about to be up here in a minute and 20 seconds. I'm glad they actually did add this into the game. A default Dragon and Baron timer. Nasus right now trying to go ahead and, do damage to Baron, and it looks like the problem right now is going to go straight for Baron. And they have to be careful. This Lissandra's low. Nasus, he can actually start taking quite a bit of damage from Baron, but it looks like they will be able to get him.
Yeah, that Vayne is just so far out of position right now. The only one that's even close is Liss. Like, this, yeah, definitely a free Baron for the purple team. It looks like Liss is going to be able to get caught out and die here.
Yeah, and he actually does. You're completely correct on that one. And Nasus gets the kill onto Liss. But speaking of Nasus, let's just take a quick look at his queue. He has 231 stacks onto his, what is it again? The Siphon Strike. That's a lot of bonus damage, plus you gotta remember it does scale with the AD as well. So very, very farmed Nasus right there.
I'm actually surprised that it's so low coming from a lane Nasus. Like, if he was a jungler Nasus, I would definitely agree that that is a high number. But from a lane Nasus, I actually think that that's pretty low. Jayce was able to deny him quite well.
He was, and that's why I'm saying it's very good because of that deny that Jayce was able to do, very early game.
Yeah, definitely.
But, looks like right now we're just kind of having both teams jockey for position in a way, see what they can do, and it looks like Dragon is now live. Waiting to see when that Baron timer will finally pop up that Riot did implement. And it looks like right now the blue team is going to go ahead and take Dragon, give themselves, get themselves back into the gold, back into the gold farming just a little better. But, they're still behind on kills, but they're ahead on gold, so they have to make the most of the gold they have.
Yeah, well, they're ahead of gold. They're only ahead, like, 400. Like, so it's not that big of a deal. I'm actually surprised that the purple team, let them just have that Dragon for free. Like, while they were slightly low from Baron, they still had Baron buff, and they're all relatively high. Like, they could definitely have fought that off.
Yeah, and one thing I want to just point out real quick, Nasus has a Warmogs, he has a Spirit Visage, and he has Boots of Swiftness. Volibear has Warden's Mail going for Randuin's Omen, he also has Spirit of the Ancient Golem as well as the Spectre's Cowl. Both of them are very, very tanky, and the only ones that are, the only one that's kind of relatively tanky for the blue team is that Liss. Jayce isn't building any sort of tank items. Liss barely building any tank items. So, blue team is pretty much without a tank right now. And that's definitely not good.
Yeah, definitely. But as you pointed out, coming out of Volibear and Nasus, well, Volibear he's building his Omen, and he has, I'm sorry, what's that thing called now? It's the Spectral Cowl.
Yeah.
And the Spirit of the Ancient Golem. And Nasus himself has a Warmogs and a Spirit Visage. They're both building a lot of health, and that's just gonna make Vayne do a lot more damage. That Vayne's set up in a very good position herself, but outside of Vayne, no one else is really gonna be able to do that much damage to her.
Very true, but in the meantime, it looks like Nasus right there gets polymorphed right there. Vayne instantly dies to Sona, actually. She got hit with just about everything. Sanjay, in the meantime, gets the kill on Liss. Jayce gets the kill on Nasus, and Ahri gets the kill on Volibear. Only ones that are left alive right now are like Vayne or Lulu and Ahri. Ahri gets the kill on Volibear, Caitlyn gets the kill onto Jayce. And that's, the ones left up on the purple team are the ones that are going to be able to do the most damage, which are that Caitlyn and Lissandra. and it's just Ahri and Lulu left alive for the blue team. Blue team is fighting an uphill battle, and they are without boots right now. Like,
Yep.
physically themselves, they are without boots fighting an uphill battle.
Yeah, that was definitely the best possibility that the purple team could ask for. They had the tanks in the best positions. They caught Vayne with fight for them.
Yeah, but in the meantime, this Caitlyn's trying to run away right here from Liss and Ahri, and she died right there to that Ahri just in the nick of time. Lissandra in the meantime gets the kill on Lulu. Lissandra does die to Liss. So, overall, the purple team came out way ahead. Yes, they did have just a couple members die right there, but they took 2 turrets for their trouble, and they almost completely wiped out the blue team. That totally went in the purple team's favor, and it couldn't have gone any better aside from them taking out the middle inhibitor.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to agree with you. Although, with the Caitlyn dying, this is the point in time where the blue team needs to do something in reaction to the purple team.
Yeah, but you actually see Jayce and Liss right now trying to, and they will get that middle tower, but Jayce and Liss actually going ahead and dying rather slowly here to Nasus, and Voli comes in here trying to chase after Jayce or Liss, and he actually gets knocked back right there by Vayne's Condemn. Beautiful play right there by Vayne, but Nasus will get the kill on on Jayce right there. Liss will get away, and Baron is going to be up in about 2 minutes' time.
Yeah, even with the Condemn and the knockback from Jayce's E, the purple team just has so much chase coming out of the Voli and the Wither from Nasus. It's just so strong.
Not to cut you off right there, but Ahri just popped her Zanya's, I think, on accident, because now she doesn't have it for another, I believe, 85 seconds?
Oh no.
That is just a bad play. So, yeah, and Vayne right now, she has her Phantom Dancer, she has the Blade of the Rune King, she has a lot of attack speed to help her, Blade of the Rune King and her Silver Bolt, but she just can't survive long enough to actually get somebody dead. She'll be able to do damage, but she actually can't kill anybody because there's nobody on the team to peel for her.
Yeah, it's really sad. Outside Liss, and they have no one that can really peel for them. They have an assassin to jump in. They have another person that acts as a range AD carry, which would be Jayce. And then they have Lulu, which, outside of slows and a knockup coming from her ult, doesn't really have much to peel.
She doesn't, but she also does have her Whimsy, which will allow her to go ahead and polymorph somebody for a good at least second. So that will knock, say, Caitlyn, Nasus, or Voli out of the team fight. Lissandra will most likely ult herself or ult somebody, and then she might be working right now on either Rabadon's Death Cap or be going for Azania's of her own. We don't know just yet, but I would definitely have to say a Rabadon's on her just for that, increased damage that she gets. And it looks like right now the purple team is trying to go ahead and go for Baron the second it's up again in about 15-20 seconds. And the blue team should know that Baron will be up relatively soon and try to contest it. And, we're going to have to see what they can pull out.
Yeah, we see pings going down for the blue team on Baron. They're definitely going to go for that once it spawns.
Yeah, the purple team right now, just want to direct you guys to this. The purple team are going to have, enough vision to where they will know if the blue team's coming at them, like where Liss just came from. We perfectly see what's going on. And Nasus right now is trying to go onto this Liss, and it's actually working. Liss goes ahead and, goes back to his own ward, and Voli is getting forced away right here. Liss actually took no damage. Voli is at half health right now. Nasus is at half health, and he actually dies right there to Lulu. Nice ult right there by both Sona and Lissandra. Lissandra gets her ult damage off on just about everybody. And Lulu dies right there to Lissandra. We just have right now a bunch of damage going off right here, and Caitlyn gets the kill on Liss. It looks like right now that, wow, Caitlyn gets the kill on Lulu. Jayce is about to die right here if he's not careful, and he dies to Sona rather. And no, that was Vayne gets killed by Sona. Jayce in the meantime went top and teleports back to base.
And with the blue team losing all those people right there, I think that's going to be the end of the fight. But that was mainly able to be done just because of that Caitlyn had great positioning in that fight. She was just able to take so many shots off on them. And not only that, once they were about to get closer, Oliver runs in and they all just go on him for some reason I am not sure of. And that just popped.
Yeah, and as we see here, Liss and Jayce trying to defend this, but it's pretty much nigh on impossible. Sona gets the kill on Liss, Ahri gets the kill onto Voli. But again, this is almost, this is a very, very tough engagement for them. Ahri gets to kill Lissandra and may actually save this Nexus, but may just be for nothing. Ahri gets the kill on Sona, Jayce gets the kill on Nasus, Caitlyn gets the kill on Ahri, Jayce gets the kill on Caitlyn, and that's a complete ace, but there are no more Nex towers for the blue team. They have to go ahead and defend this, otherwise the super minions will go ahead and push this, middle in and take out that Nexus for themselves.
The blue team's actually going Baron right now. They're just gonna leave the Liss in to defend, I believe.
Yeah, they're gonna leave Liss in. It looks like, actually no, they'll leave Ahri to defend it when she reses. That blue team is doing a smart tactic right here. They did wipe the entire purple team out, but I don't know if it's gonna be worth it or not, because Lulu's now tanking hits from Baron, and yeah, they'll get Baron, but does Ahri have the buff? She does not have the buff, and now they have two people very, very low on health. They're gonna have to go ahead and kill. Yes, they can use Baron to defend, but it's almost a wasted Baron at this point, unless they can go ahead and wipe the purple team out yet again with Baron now, and then completely push the mid lane and just dominate it and take out the Nexus. That's their only move from this point. Wipe out the purple team and try to push and win in one fell swoop.
Yeah, definitely. I think the main, the strongest thing about them getting that Baron right now is just the fact that the purple team does not have that Baron. If the purple team got it, they would be able to walk in and just mop the floor with them.
I agree with you, and I actually want to point something out right here. Vayne, it looks like is working towards a Last Whisper. Ahri still has 2 Doran's rings, and it looks like Lee Sin's finally now trying to work on, something tankier, maybe be getting, I want to say, a Randuin's Omen of his own.
I think it's just a little bit too late for him to do it. While the blue team are definitely are still in this, they're barely in it. The front line coming out of the purple team is just so strong. Their Caitlyn has so much damage. Not only that, I believe she's already starting to work on her GA, but the Sona does get caught out by the Ahri right there.
She does, and dies to Ahri, and Lissandra goes in, pops her ult right there, but on Ahri and on Vayne actually soaks up most of the damage. Lissandra gets the kill on Ahri after Ahri goes ahead and pops her Zanya's. I think that was a ignite on her. Meantime, Caitlyn gets the kill on Jayce during all of this, and Nasus is trying to go ahead and push this Caitlyn away, and actually manages to do so with the help of Volibear. Lissandra doesn't have her ult, but as I said, she does have that Rabadon's death cap now, and the blue team now has to go ahead and again, defend this as much as they possibly can. Ult comes out right there by Caitlyn, but I think he gets intercepted by Lee Sin or Vayne, because I believe it was on Lulu.
Yeah, with the Vayne being up now, the purple team's gonna go ahead and back off. There's still the blue buff, I believe. And then they're just gonna go and heal, and then they will come back to the big guy, I believe. They should just walk down mid and just go ahead and go for it.
They can walk down mid, or they can push bottom, because all they've left at bottom is the T3 tower, which, it's been taken down about 600 health, 600 to 700 health, somewhere around there. But, either way is viable. Meantime, Caitlyn and Sona are going to go ahead and take the dragon for their team. Put their team ahead on gold yet again. But, there's just so much damage potential from this Caitlyn versus Vayne that the purple team almost has this in the bag as long as Caitlyn doesn't die. If Caitlyn dies, then it's up to Lissandra to actually do damage, and Volibear and Nasus to peel for her, which they may actually be able to do.
Yeah, definitely. Volibear and Nasus have so much good peeling potential. Not only that, they can just go in there and just wreck shop themselves. So even with Caitlyn being so strong, you still have to worry for them, because they are definitely really strong at this point in time.
A fool in his head are
yeah, and another thing I want to point out is, real quick, now Ahri looks like is working towards her Rabadon's death cap. We've gotten a Things on Holy Grail from Sona. We also have this Shredder's Reverie, which that's to be expected. Caitlyn has her Last Whisper, a Static Shiv, a Bloodthirster, and I believe, like you said a little while ago, she's working on her GA, which that's very, very nice for her. Lee Sin finally has his Warden's Mail. We got almost a Muramana for this Jayce, but he has no way to survive any sort of hit other than just his ninja tabby.
Yeah, Jayce decided to go for that pure AD poke build. I'm not 100% sure why he went for Black Cleaver so fast, but every player has their own style, I guess.
Yeah, and that might be costing the blue team the game right here, is this Jayce not being tanky enough. You know, Nasus has 3.9k or 3.7k health, I can't actually tell. We've got Volibear who has 3.2k health, and then Liss who has 2.2k, Jayce who has 2.2, almost 2.3k, but that's nowhere near enough to stand up to the amount of health that, you know, Nasus or Volibear have. Speaking of Nasus, he almost dies up here at the top. He's gonna go ahead and back away here, and then he could teleport right back into the lane.
Yeah, this blue team's definitely battling their way back into this. They've been able to just stop the purple team from doing anything. I don't know. I think the blue team may have battled their way back in. I think they're still in it.
They definitely are. I mean, there's about 30 CS difference between Caitlyn and Vayne, which, you know, that's pretty big gap. Between Jayce and Nasus, however, it's 60 in favor of Jayce, but Nasus has an extra kill on Jayce and has 2 assists on Jayce and 1 less death. Between Vayne and Caitlyn, you know, Caitlyn has 1 less death than Vayne and 6 more kills. That's a big gold difference. And let's just take a look at that real quick. Caitlyn has 13.7k gold made versus the 10 or 11k now of Vayne. So about 2,000 gold difference. That's huge for your ADCs. And, you know, Caitlyn now has her GA, which gonna help her even more.
Yeah, definitely. The main person that's keeping this blue team is this Ahri. She's so strong at this point in time. Like, she's just assassinating people left and right.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised now to see her get, you know, as I said, that Rabadon's death cap, and then maybe get a Rylo's Crystal Scepter for just some more health, for slow, and more AP.
Yeah, definitely. Another good option, I believe, would be the GA, just due to the fact of how strong she is, as I said before. Like, the other team should be focusing her down, so even if they focus her down, the GA will just bring her back alive.
Very true, and that would give, you know, Vayne a little more time to go ahead and, you know, chip away at them. But it looks like right now the blue and purple team are going to contest this Baron that's going to be up in about 10 seconds. It's very interesting. You know, it's going to be interesting to see the positions that the purple and blue team have. You know, there's about 700 gold difference between them in favor of the blue team, but that's almost negligible at this point. And looks like right now the purple team is just go ahead and clear wards and try and bait the blue team to, you know, come at them at that Baron pit.
Yeah, definitely. They do have their tanks positioned in the front outside of the Sona just walking out there to prove me wrong. But with this fight, like, this could actually just be the deciding factor for the game.
Yeah, and we see Nasus going in here. He popped his ghost, he popped Wither on Jayce. Jayce goes ahead and flashes over the wall. And we've got Volibear now being attacked by everybody. Now we have Nasus being attacked by everybody. It looks like Nasus might die here. No, he barely survives. He backs away in the proper time. And Liss goes and tries to go in here. He gets the ult right there by Lulu. And nice ult right there by Lissandra. Looks like on that Jayce. Jayce will go ahead and die right there by Sona. Liss dies to that Caitlyn. Nasus gets the kill on Vayne. Ahri gets killed right there by Caitlyn. And Caitlyn gets the kill on Lulu. That is GG right there. There's nothing the blue team can do.
That was quite sad because at that point in time it looked like the blue team was going to be able to take that fight right there. But Liss knocked Caitlyn away because Caitlyn actually did 40 caliber net just at the right moment to make her go back and step towards the blue team. And at the same time, Lissandra landed a beautiful ult onto the Jayce. Yeah,
and I've got my screen paused right now. Game's over anyway. We can go ahead and just take a quick look at things. So, Jayce has a pickaxe. He has Ninja Tabby with Home Guard, which, alright, that's fine. Then he has a BF sword. Looks like he was building maybe towards the Infinity Edge. He has that Muramana now. He has Last Whisper, and he has a Black Cleaver. Then we've got Leeson, who has a Warren's Mail, but as we said earlier, was a little too late on that. He's got Mercury Treads. He has a Virgil's Lantern and a Lock of the Iron Solari. that's a pretty standard, jungle or support item for, for jungle support. It's that locket. It's nice, gives you health, gives you armor, gives you CDR, and gives your team that nice shield, which, it's nice, and then it also gives you that aura. Then we have Ahri, who has Zanya's. She has Deathfire Grasp, a Void Staff. She was working on I'm guessing her Rabadon's Death Cap, and she has Sorcerer's Shoes with Home Guard. Then we got Vayne, who has Blade of the Rune King, Phantom Dancer, Last Whisper, still her Doran's Blade, and Berserker Greaves with Home Guard. And then Lulu, who has Shrelia's Reverie, Twin Shadows, Ruby Sightstone, Ionian Boots of Lucidity, Chalice of Harmony, and the Philosopher's Stone. That was a key thing right there, that she got the Philosopher's Stone again, even though she has Australia's, just for that GP10. But, compare that to, their counterparts. At top, Nasus has, a Warmogs, he has a Spirit Visage, or Visage, however you want to pronounce it. He has a Locket of Iron Solari as well. He has Boots of Swiftness, and looks like he was working on that Warden's Mail. Volibear has Randuin's Omen. He has a Spirit Visage as well. He has the... Let me see if I can actually find him here, because the overlay is blocking
Boots
that.
mobility?
No, he has, the Boots of Mobility with Home Guard, as well as the Spirit of the Ancient Golem. That's very tanky for a Volibear. Then we have a Rabadon's Death Cap, a Rathalos Crystal Scepter, a Haunting Dice, Sorcerer's Shoes, Blasting Wand, and a Doran's Ring on this Lissandra. For Caitlyn, we have Bloodthirster, Last Whisper, we have Static Shiv, and Guardian Angel with Berserker Greaves with a Fur enchant. And then with Sona, we have an Athene's Unholy Grail, Shrelia's Reverie, Boots of Mobility, Sightstone, and looks like she was working on, I guess, Ruby Sightstone? Overall, the supports were relatively even. The ADCs were relatively even with, Caitlyn just having that slight edge with the kills. Between the mids, Ahri definitely had the advantage, but Lissandra had she had the team fights to back herself up. And between the jungles, it all went to Volibear versus that Lee Sin, and tops were actually relatively even for where they're at, but that Nasus just building up, tanky and allowing his Siphon Strike to do the bulk of his damage along with his ultimate. That's where his power lied. And just the fact that he could wither onto Vayne and render her attack speed almost negligible, because it's 83% attack speed for a short duration. That is insane.
Yeah, as people like to say, it was a long-range stun.
Pretty much. I mean, if the blue team had better engagements, or Jayce had, if Jayce and Lee Sin had gone ahead and, gotten up any sort of tanky items earlier, like if Lee Sin would have gotten a Warmogs himself, it would have been a lot closer. Yeah, Caitlyn would have shredded through him, but you know what? He still lasted another 3-4 seconds, allowing Vayne to go ahead and pop more damage out. So, goes to show you the build styles do matter, and you have to know when to go ahead and build tanky versus when to build damage as Jayce and Lee Sin.
Yeah, I personally did not like the Jayce pick coming out of the blue team, just because, while Lee Sin's an amazing peeler, Ahri's an amazing assassin, and Vayne's team fight is amazing as well as Lulu's, Jayce is mainly meant for poke, and the rest of his team is meant for team fights. He was not really, what am I looking for? He really wasn't set up to be good in this team.
No, he wasn't, and, if he had, a, let's say, Warren's Mail of his own, or he had a Randuin's Omen, he had something that provided himself with enough sustain to last another 3-4 seconds in the team fights as well, he would have been way more help than just building on, more damage.
Yeah, if he had gone to focus more on the hammer form rather than his range form, it would have been much better for him.
Yeah, and, this is all speculation, but, hey, it's... we're just letting you guys know what could have happened, and, now next time, if you're in the situation where you have a Jayce top and, Nasus is going tanky, tell your Jayce to go tanky if he's already not. if your Lee Sin who's jungling isn't going kind of tanky, he's doing something wrong and you have to tell him to.
Speak for yourself, bro. Mine's not speculation. I got the magic 8-ball out.
Sure. But that's it, guys. My name has been Shadowswalm.
I'm the Graven.
And we will talk to you all next time.